Actually, the question for Joe based on the
One of the things, and I do represent that younger community, that's in the social network is, you know, there's a double-edged sword that goes along with them. What Gary does is just tremendous. I mean, the way how he gives you stuff in real time, we can't ask for anything better. But one of the things that, as you just mentioned, something that brought to mind was the younger generation. How are they going to change? Because eventually they become where we are right now. And one of the things that I'm concerned about, although I'm a strong advocate now for the social networks, one of the things I'm concerned about is the communication skills that the younger generation lack because of social networks. And it is something that we, in this position now, and how we use it, that we keep in mind when we use it, how to school the younger generation, because we're on the last frontier of face-to-face.
Now, what do you mean, Joe? It means that when they write, they don't spell, or that they don't know how to upload video?
No, good question. What I'm basic communication skills. A great example. I recently read an article where someone was in his college dorm right next to his roommate and was texting to him, "You need to put it on Facebook. You need to clean up this room." You know, that's basic communication skills. You know, from face level it's comical, but when you start seeing the depth of it, and it's not just one incident, you know, it's on and on. Where there's limited face-to-face communication. Where someone will have a problem with someone across the room in the office in the younger group, it's like instead of saying something to the individual, they'll email.
Well, Jeff, let me ask Jeff a question about that.
I've been emailing people sitting next to me for years.
Click face. Have you seen examples of people who started emailing each other, but then ended up face to face and did something?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's super powerful. Is bringing things from online to offline.
So, give me an example how that happens, like West Haven.
In one region, we have people who often report areas where we want trees to be planted, and so people will go out and LCI will donate the trees.
That's the city neighborhood agency.
Right, neighborhood agency will donate trees, and the neighbors will do the planting of the trees. So on ClickFix, people recommend where they would want to see trees or planters being placed around their neighborhood, and the plants would be donated by the city, but the neighbors would actually be doing the planting. So. Yeah.
Let me ask you, Joe, have you seen cases where people who might have, let's say New Haven, do they come out through the music they find on your site to shows they might not have gone to? Do musicians get together and jam who want to jam?
Absolutely. We have an event every Wednesday night at the club, one of the clubs downtown New Haven, and it's packed. One of the things
now so once a week, are these people who found out about this event through your radio station?
Right. We do a combination of new media as well as conventional promotion. But recently, in the last year, I've cut back strongly on the conventional promotion, such as the flyers. By the way, we stayed away from big 6x4 flyers because I can't stand seeing them all over the ground downtown. I'm walking to my office on a Thursday or a Friday after the college night, and flyers all over the place. So, trying to be a good citizen, make sure that I'm not part of the problem, part of the solution. Back to the question that you asked, have I seen people coming out because of that? Absolutely. It does play a major role in for an artist to get his followers out through the social network.
And then, Gary, you ran your first campaign in 2008 for this office, the same year that Barack Obama was using the internet as a tool to get people involved in campaigns. Was that a one-shot thing, or are you seeing at the grassroots level in New Haven that social networks are going to bring more people to be involved in political campaigns and publicity? Do you have examples of ways you saw people get involved, let's say in this governor's race or in your re-election effort?
Well, I would say my network expands constantly, and people who otherwise aren't engaged become engaged, because you can't be a friend of mine and not see what's going on. And I think something, because I don't just post about the same type of thing, I post about a lot of different things. And I think something that I post is going to trigger something, and then people become part of the conversation. And I've seen people who are in my network make friends with other people in the network and meet with them, and kind of just understanding that other people who are interested in the things they're interested in. In my campaigning, it helped me, just as a person who's in politics, to have 12, 1,300 people in the network.
800 are in my district. Those people get to hear from me every day.
Now, have they actually shown up? Have you had more people round up voters or come to community forums because of being part of the network, or does the involvement stop online?
There are different people that will come to events. I will say in this last election, there were a lot of people who believed I was going to win, and so you can't really use that election as a barometer for anything, because they didn't feel like they needed to go out because they knew I was going to win. But they're involved in a conversation, which to me is very important. A lot of us only measure these things by the number of people who vote. I measure engagement also by the number of people who are thinking about these things and who are prepared to move if they feel they need to move. You can't move people who don't understand that there's something going on. You can't move people who have no idea. Maybe you can, but you might move them in the wrong direction. People who don't understand what the issues are. And so I think that's the involvement in the conversation is very much important. And, look, I'm supporting Dan Malloy for governor, so right? And people in my network are hearing about Dan Malloy all the time. So it helps. It helps to have 1,200 people who are part of the audience, and they're hearing all of the reasons why, and they're learning about him. Those 1,200 people, if they weren't in my network, it's possible they might not be talking to anybody about him. So